allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll do a quick roll call. Bernie Kraus,
Here.
John Gebhardt, see him, Michael Schaefer, Eric Nelson.
Here.
Yep, you're there. Zeke,
Here.
yes. Mark,
Here.
yep. Vinny, Susie, yes. Dominic Prestipino, I don't see Dominic. And Manuel Romeo, I don't see him either, but we do have 6 members in attendance, which is a quorum, so we can proceed with the meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look at our agenda for today? And I'd like to have a motion to adopt the agenda.
Move to adopt, as published.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we will proceed with our agenda. Also, has everyone had a chance to review our minutes from May 6th that Bernie very diligently was able to transcribe? I had a look, I saw a minor change and but a little typo. But if I can have a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve.
And I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. That. Next on our agenda is time for public comments, but I think rather than do those right up front, we can do those as we go through the various topics, if anyone has to comment as we go along. Unless there's somebody, well, I don't even think we have anybody from the public on here at the moment anyway, so as we go, we can just invite comments if we see people call in, because I think the intent is for people to participate. Okay, so we have a pretty short agenda today, and I don't think this should take too long. The first one is the Brown Advisory Reports, and I emailed everybody the June and July reports. They're also posted, so hopefully you had a chance to look at it. The main thing that is the 2 things since last time, obviously we voted to close down the general fund account that we thought would be more appropriately consolidated with the rest of the town funds. And then everything else is the investment status. I don't, from discussions that, we had, last time, with the, I think that the situation is pretty volatile right now, so I don't think that the commissioners are really interested in trying to change any investment strategy at the moment until things settle out, but,
Yeah, we're only 4 months into the year, so.
yeah, so, I think it's pretty stable, but if anybody in your review, anybody on the committee have any comments or questions they'd like to put forth? All right, so that's a resounding no, I think. The only question that I have, it seems that in some of the situations, we've got some expenses and fees that look higher than the return. But again, this is, we're looking at a month at a time, and it's really more of a macro exercise. But I think that's, a question that we could, I'd like to ask Brown, what, if there's anything they could do to help. We can always ask and they can say no, but I think that would be the only area I would question.
Iris, Mike, aren't we 9% to date overall?
Pardon me?
In terms of the interest rate, yeah, we went down 16K or so this year, or this report, but for the year, aren't we 9% up?
Yeah, we are. So that's, that's what I'm saying. So looking at it on a month basis, yeah. So I think it's in pretty good shape, but unless anybody has any more comments, I think we can move on from that topic. And our next agenda item is the town budget. And if, Bill and Sheena want to just give us an update on where it is. I know we all got the spreadsheet, but kind of helps to have them tell us what they, put their spin on it.
Yeah, so
Not
thank you. So far the budget is looking well. The proposed is what we put in, and where we are right now with the revenue coming in is we're a little higher right now than we thought we'd be in transfer tax. In some of the other categories, if you look at those going down for revenues coming in. Sheena, do you have any other comments on revenues coming in?
revenues have been very strong, and everybody's been doing their best to make sure that they stay, you know, we don't have any laggers, people taking advantage of things and not paying for permits and all.
Well, it looks like, do we have, and we do have a bit of a lag, right, because the July report really is the end of June, like, so some of the lodging tax, it takes a while for that to,
Right, the lodging tax for July will be in by the middle of August, so
Okay.
it'll show up in the August financial.
yeah, so we have 2 more big months still to come on all that stuff then.
Correct, so the Labor Day won't show up until in October, you'll see it on the September financials.
One question I have, and it's nothing to do with all this, but it's, when I looked at the financials and saw the transfer taxes looked up, but I get that little piece of paper from Joe Choma that says, here's what Dewey did, here's what Scott Acres did, here's what Forgotten Mile did, here's whatever else. It seems different. Is there any correlation between what we do and what he, looks like a fairly benign report. It's not like we're trying to skew one way or the other. Is there any correlation between what we see on the town budget versus what he puts out there in the real world?
What that is the town gets a report from this county with all it shows what deeds have changed, what pieces of property have changed, whether it be just a name change or a change in ownership, and how much money it was, and our percentage, and then we get an ACH deposit about 2 weeks later for the amount of.
So a name change doesn't necessarily mean a property change.
Correct, a name change, there is no fee associated.
Okay,
So if you take your piece of property and put it into a trust, there is no fee. There's only a fee when you sell your property to Ms. Curtis.
okay. I mean, it doesn't show the prices that they do, so we don't know what the actual property transfer tax was. We just see there were 3 properties that sold this year, 2 are under consignment, you know, whatever.
Contract, right.
We get a list of which properties and how much and what our fee is.
Okay.
And I think your question is do we think there, are we worried there's a slowdown?
I mean, it seems like you can kind of guess and parse and see what's going on in the real world. You just don't know the prices. So it was nice to see we were doing better in transfer tax, but it was like, okay, if you only sold 3 pieces of property, last year we sold 3, or, you know, the real estate guys, but last year's was not nearly as good as these 3. You know, you can see the market, but you can't see the market.
It also depends on whether it's a larger piece of property and if it's on the ocean or the bay.
Okay.
I think what a realtor puts together is what he pulls from the MLS. So these are the ones that there's a contract on it, might not have gone to closing yet. And there's a lag from the time the county gets the closing to the time we get. So it's when we realize the revenue versus, hey, I got a sale today, but yeah, it's going to close in November.
Yeah.
When I get that newsletter too, and when I read, I feel like every year he says there's no supply. And, you know, as a means of saying, you better buy something, because, you know, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's a better source of, now, we know how many transactions happen, right? Year over year. And I remember TJ telling me this years ago, historically, we sell about 50 properties in Dewey Beach. Now, when they built the Hyatt, there were more because there's more inventory and things like that, but 50 houses is a norm. And I think when we went through COVID, that was getting up into the 70s and 80s. So I think that's probably the number we should chase, really, is how many transactions are coming through.
And then what's the average?
Yeah, you know, keep in mind, houses have mostly doubled from where they were, you know, not too far ago. So, you know, so even if we sold 25 houses, we'd hit the same revenue number, right? You know, since they're twice as much. But, you know, eventually everything goes through a cycle. But as long as we know you know, every year we're going to sell 50. I don't know which 50 they're going to be, but that's what we average. And it'd be interesting to see if we did it, you know, maybe do 5 years or something, or, I don't know.
So Sheena looks at the last 5 years and she tries to come up with a number. Like this year, we came up with 700,000.
Right.
And right now, from April to the end of June, we're at 357,000 approximately. So we are doing well, and that's what she looks at. She looks at the past year.
Right.
It comes up with an average, and of course, when you look at the Hyatt, as you said, that kind of throws it off, or you look at COVID, that may throw it off. But Last year we were at 750 or 650 and we ended up at $1 million.
$1 million, right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at how many transactions make up the 300 and some thousand we have today. Was that 5 transactions or 25 transactions? You know, knowing that we're gonna have that many more to come.
Did anyone see the article in the Gazette that talked about, kind of ranked the price of houses, and Dewey beat out Rehoboth? I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
So it goes to something else you said earlier, Paul. How many are selling at what price?
Right. I could sell $1 million house or 2 $500,000 houses.
Right.
You know,
A lot less effort, more profit.
Well, and I think, Sheena's taken a pretty conservative approach
Yeah.
about that for that reason, because we don't, it's a crapshoot, so.
You know, it's always good to underestimate what our revenue's gonna be and, exceed it, but we want to try to be as close to what the budgeted number is. It's great to blow it out, though.
And then, and I know, just one quick question for me on the report, is it looked like there were some areas where things were over budget, but in my mind, that was all kind of stuff that's the seasonal stuff and you straight line the budget, and so that should wash out.
Certain things are straight lines, certain things are, like the payroll is by how many pays. But as I explained to the commissioners, we have to account for time off. Nobody really takes time off during the summer, but we earn it.
Right.
So the payroll looks like it's going up, yet in December, when a bunch of us take time off,
That's what
It looks
I
like
was
it's down.
remembering, okay.
Right.
also, there are some items that on the full data that they are higher than budget, but they have an offset up in the top because they were purchased with a grant. Or it's a streets and infrastructure item, so the money came out of streets and infrastructure. So there's a lot of idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, no, but it looks great, I think, you guys are doing an awesome job.
Now, Sheena, if I can chime in on something there. So parking permits and meters. That's a number that goes away in about 6 weeks. So that would be, if I were to say, the only one I'd be concerned that we may not hit might be parking. Might not either. But we're always 30 days behind of what Park Mobile pays us, right?
Well,
So we really have 10 weeks.
we got a new merchant processing system, which is credit card processing. So our Park Mobile is going through our credit cards now. It's not delayed like it was.
Oh, okay.
Our parking numbers are right where they should be. They're strong. There hasn't been a change as far like there was last year as far as how people were parking, doing hourly over instead of more days. It's the same. And our seasonal permits are still selling.
With a month to go.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've seen a lot more of the enforcement people around this year too than last year, and I imagine that's having an impact too.
It encourages people very much.
So it's worth giving them the pay bump.
Yes.
All right, does anyone else have any questions on the budget or on the town expenses and budget today? All right. Well, that was easy. I told you we were gonna do this pretty quickly today. So our third topic is really just trying to talk about the budget process for next year. And if you remember last year, we combined the committees in October, and by the time we really got started, we were also right into the budget process, and there wasn't really a lot of time to think about stuff. So what we had recommended to commissioners last time was that we try to do a revenue workshop, sometime earlier in the fall, so probably in September, so that we can, look at sort of the trends of the revenue we have now, what we've seen this year, and really take another look. Are there other sources of revenue that we might want to think about? Where could we squeeze more? Because we can't raise the parking forever, but are there other sources of things that we can do so that we can keep pace with the salaries we want to pay the staff and other needs. So, what I'd love to do is at least pull the group here. I think, last time we did our workshop, it was, I think we did, it was like before the commissioners meeting.
Right, and the commissioners' organizational meeting, which is, whether we have an election or not, it will not, they have the organizational meeting. I've spoken with Ms. Banaszak, and that's the last Friday of September. So you really don't want to have a meeting until
October.
October.
Okay. Well, so if, and I know a lot of people work, so we did kind of figure out when to do that, but if we try to do, because then the commissioners meeting won't be till the end of October, and I think maybe we want to get started before then, so, could we do, something like it, those of you that work, if we plan it early enough, could we start something at maybe, at 3 or 4, one day, and I guess I need to just pull, maybe we can just pull by, anybody have any thoughts about that? We could maybe do a weekend also, I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I don't wanna make you all have to come in on a weekend either, so.
It's okay, if we have to.
Here anyway.
So, no, you are not.
Well, typically, commissioner meetings are 3, so if you wanted to schedule something Friday at 5, I don't, it's not everybody's highlight Friday evening, but, we can do it then.
Well, like, I was just thinking, yeah, or
Everybody
maybe,
would be there
well, 3,
anyhow.
if we
Fridays
did,
will be big.
well, we're not gonna do it on the commissioners week though, so if we did it like, oh god, I gotta think, I'm gonna be out of town.
This would be October, so.
Plus,
I know.
the traffic won't be nearly as bad, the crowds will be less.
But I'm out of town the first 2 weeks in October, so we've just moved it, I'm planning a date when I'm not gonna be here, so, but like the 20, like maybe we shoot for the week, I'll get my calendar here. And
Well, like
John,
you did last time, just throw out a couple of dates to the whole group.
yeah, okay, I'll
Please
do that.
respond with,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, there was 3 people waiting to be admitted to the meeting, did you see? Is John on now? Oh, there he is, is that John?
No, I don't have anyone waiting to be admitted, there's no one in the waiting room,
Okay,
No public?
no.
oh well, that's all right. Yeah, John Gebhardt texted me, I just saw that, and then he said, maybe they gave up by now, that was, it was 2 minutes ago. Let me just tell him that. But yeah, I'll throw out some dates, and we'll see when that can be, but probably, maybe it can still be offset, I don't think, maybe the week before the commissioners meeting or
You pick.
something like that, okay, all right. And then, I think that's it, unless anybody else wants to talk about the budgeting process or has any questions or comments?
Iris, it's Elizabeth here. Oh goodness, I showed up large. I was going to say that last October we got to start doing this, but we weren't formed as a committee. So even if we have to wait till October, that's not such a bad idea because we kind of know how this committee works.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because we didn't do it last year, we didn't even do anything till January or December, and it was kind of already set by then, so.
Yeah. So October is not
Okay.
behind.
All right, good.
One question I should ask when we were talking about transfer tax was the parking. I saw when I go down to the chamber and do stuff down there, that you can almost swing a dead cat in Rehoboth during the day and not hit a car in a parking spot. And here, our parking seems to be doing well. Can anybody see a difference between what they charge? I think they're what, $5 a day or $4.50 an hour or something like that?
They're 4 just like us.
They're same as Fuss? Okay, so it's just something different there that's going on, because you can park downtown, which used to be unheard of. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were cheaper, more expensive, if we're on par.
Us, Bethany, and Fenwick are all at $4.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's no more questions on the budget process and schedule. I think we can move on from that. Do we have anybody from the public that has joined?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, and the commissioners, do you have any comments? It's your time to talk. All right.
I already said what I need to say.
Thank you very much. All right, well, I think then, like I promised, it would be pretty short, and I appreciate everybody's time. Unless anybody wants to bring anything else up?
Shortest meeting in finance committee history.
I know, it's good. So, that's what I want. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn the meeting today?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Madam
Thanks,
Chair.
everyone.